Hello, dear community, and very welcome to our live stream today. We have very exciting updates from Jollydays. Meanwhile, there's also a second company, Jolly Tech. An investment took place in the meantime. Some new shareholders are there, and we have Georg with us, the original founder. Georg, welcome.
Yeah. Thanks.
And the new CEO, Vid Matic, welcome to in our studio.
Thank you.
Give us some updates. We spoke about Jollydays 5 years ago. You started your company in 2003.
Yes.
Strong development, bootstrapped since then, 18 years. And for the first time now, you have great investors on board, new structure, and massive plans for the future. So give us some updates on that.
Yeah, I think that's a good, abbreviated story how you brought it. I think in 2003, when we founded it, it was just a great idea. And we have, I think we were lucky to invent the right name, which proves to be a really scalable name today, like Jollydays. And for 18 years, as you said, we were kind of bootstrapping it. We were just the market leader in Austria from the beginning because we have invented this market. So nobody would understand what an Erlebnisgutscheine is.
The market of vouchers.
Yeah, of experience vouchers.
Experience vouchers that you give as a gift to somebody else.
Yeah, this is how we all started it. And for this time, there were ups and downs. But I think today we're in a position where we can say, okay, it's cool that we found new people coming on board. We have changed a lot of the structure. We've changed some of the shareholding. And now I think we're just on the brink on really scaling it and going further to the next step.
You also split one part of your business, the technology competence, and founded together with new shareholders, Jolly Tech. Why? What is this company going to focus on?
I think it was one of the experiences that our new shareholders just brought with them, that they said, okay, it's very good to have a very clear focus in the company. And Jollydays was doing everything in one, like the marketing, the product development, the tech part, and so on. And historically, we were too weak in our tech development. So we have split it into one tech company who really focuses on tech and everything's connected with it. And there were new people coming on board, following our investor with him. And there is this strong marketing company, marketing, branding, and so on. This is where we really focus the customer and sell our products, our experience products. And I think dividing it into the two, but still having the same construction of shareholding on top, will give us the same target, will give the same ideas, but with a clear focus in the companies.
You were able sort of to convince, which is a proper sign of trust and of acknowledgement of your 18 years of really strong success, Armin Sageder, and as a new investor, he co-founded Paysafecard and also co-founded BGT Group in the gaming industry. And you convinced him to invest in your company, to become a shareholder, and to grow your business together. How did that come to be? What kind of investment, what kind of deal, as far as you're allowed to talk about it?
It was a very interesting story. I think over the last few years, we were thinking about how to inject growth into our company. And we knew that a little change in focus would be used for this. And we will talk about this later because we're doing exactly this right now. But by that time, there was 2016, 2017, we have started to discuss these new ideas. And then after a while, I just got to know Armin. We've happened to have the same lawyer, and he brought us together. And in a very short time, I had the chance to talk to him about my visions, about the ideas, about the projections that we see, about the market development, about the players who are actually there, and about the opportunities that we see. And I think he's a guy he's a very fast thinker, and he's a fast decider, and he immediately understood what the whole story was about. And he decided to come on board just right immediately and during the first meeting. And from then on, he kept all the focus on the idea. And then we have met in a time that was just before COVID. And when COVID started, of course, this hit us because we're an experienced company. And if everything shuts down and you're not allowed to meet anyone, of course, this hit our business.
Because people book vouchers to go out and so on and so forth.
Parachuting or dinner in the sky, whatever, together. So that was a complicated time. But Armin he remained with the focus on the company. He said, I still believe in it. And finally, this is how this worked out and how he came aboard.
Not only he invested his own money, he also brought one of his best people, so to say, Vid Matic on board, the new CEO. You moved more into the shareholding structure to make space.
Yeah, shareholding and maybe strategic affairs and growth. Maybe I can help out on this, but I'm happy to just hand over to like one of the hotshots that followed Armin, and it's him and it's a couple of brilliant tech guys who came on board as well. So I think that's one of the big issues that Will is allowed to grow from now on.
Vid, Georg has been driving the company for 18 years. Obviously, he has his own insights on that. Being a fresh guy into this structure, how do you perceive Jollydays? Why do you think that was an interesting investment?
Wow, it has a lot of factors, but the number one factor is it's very difficult to develop a brand in any market. Georg has worked for 18 years to develop incredible brand awareness for Jollydays. So you have this e-commerce platform with a lot of upside potential, incredible upside potential. So it's already established. It already has a revenue stream you can use to organically grow it to achieve our mission. So you have a brand that's existing, a revenue stream, but a startup on the other side. And when you mix these two together, you have this incredible foundation for growth. Plus, with a new owner coming in, plus Georg's insights, of course, you never disqualify experience. So, and I'm not a person who will tell you that I'm the best at everything. No, I'm good at a couple of things. But Georg has been the visionary of Jollydays. Armin has grown companies to the size, from 20 to 900. So he has managed change. We have another shareholder who has been a CTO of another large company. So he knows the kind of fallacies you can get into if you don't follow your kind of API lifecycle management or the points that they missed at the beginning that they later on inherited. Or the little problems. So you have this insight, you have this kind of wealth of knowledge. And that's been the reason that we have been working so successfully together, along with Armin, along with Marcus, who's also a shareholder.
So would you say that the next period for Jollydays is dedicated to exponential growth and scaling?
Absolutely.
Yes.
We're not foolish to say that the growth will happen over days. We're going to use Austria as our proof of concept just because the brand is extremely well known in Austria. So we have that advantage. We'll leverage the brand. So Austria is going to be our proof of concept. The DACH region is the next natural step. And then the growth becomes exponential.
And how do you want to position Jollydays? It's been working since 18 years super well. Very stable base, growing organically, stable organic base. Where do you see the exponential growth in the future? Because it's probably not going to come from the same business.
No. We will always continue to maintain the voucher model. It has been what has grown the company. It is right now still what the company is known about. But we don't want to fight for the gift market anymore. The voucher market will not grow much more than it already has over the last 20 years in both Austria and Germany and Switzerland. Those are our core markets. So what we want to do is fight for the hours after work that people have. We want to fight from 5 p.m. to 12 p.m. We want to fight for the weekends. And the way to achieve that is to create a platform, a marketplace for your leisure time. So a leisure time management platform.
Direct booking or vouchers?
Direct booking. You can still buy vouchers. We'll never abandon it. And it is kind of let's say, the legacy of Jollydays. But we will go into direct bookability. So we go for volume, not for gifts.
So anything concerning after work time,
exactly.
You want to position yourself as the platform to go to?
Absolutely. A wealth of content.
So restaurants,
exactly.
theater, opera, whatever.
Yeah. If you want to jump out of a plane, go to a cabaret, and then lose your mind at a sports game, Jollydays. Or if you have 3 kids, you're bored in some village in Lower Austria, and you want to do something, and you don't know what to do, and you pick a filter, and you say, okay, I have 3 kids, I have a wife, I want to do something within 100 kilometers, or I'll lose my mind. Yeah, Jollydays. So,
and you want to build that around that base, and that which was built and created so far in the past 18 years?
Yes, of course. Look, Jollydays, the brand, we want to use it. I think a lot of mistakes in the past have been not to use this kind of extremely valuable. I mean, one of the most valuable pillars of Jollydays, let's say there are 2. The people that are there, so shareholders, employees, the team, and then the brand name that Georg has built over 18 years. It's incredibly powerful. You could waste millions and millions on marketing companies, creative agencies,
Your competitors try to do it. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, we have invested all the money that we've been able to create into marketing in order to create the brand. So there is a lot of money that went into there. But you're completely right. That's one of the major pillars that this company has been built on. And funny enough, if you ask people, do you know Jollydays? And many people do know this in Austria. then normally you get the answer, yeah, isn't that company about this Ferrari driving and parachuting and dinner in the sky and all that stuff? And the second sentence is, this is the voucher thing they're doing, isn't it? But people automatically have the connotation of leisure time experiences and gifting. So this is this is the thing that we've inherited, but this is the basic foundation where we are. Like, we stand for all the things that you can do in a leisure time.
That you will be able to book directly in the future when you develop your new MVP.
Exactly.
So flip out your phone, just do it, put a filter on the experience offering.
Why didn't you do it in the past 18 years?
That's exactly why Armin came on board and why I'm so happy that we have all these technicians here coming with him. That's a vast part of technology that is in the background. You would never see it. You would not experience it. Like, the user experience is pretty simple. But if you have a look at the tourism industry, there are many parts of it that have already been sorted out, like flights. You can book flights anywhere, hotels, that's done. But experiences, it relies on a number of small and smallest companies that do not have like this technological background that all the big flight companies and hotel companies have. So in order to get all these people organized, that's a vast thing that you need to start.
Yeah. So you're bringing this technology DNA into the company.
We've had the plans, and now we just put them to reality.
Absolutely. That's why we split the two companies, as you said previously. We have Jollydays and Jollytech. Jollytech will be responsible for the technology. We brought in now a whole new team of kind of serious enterprise-level technical expertise, which was necessary. As Georg has said, it might seem simple to run a marketplace, but how do you convince a mom-and-pop shop in the middle of a forest to stop using their book and actually use some software? And we've worked very much on that, on producing something that's simple, free to use, and to convince, because you're right, direct bookability. So we're not changing the world. We're not reinventing the wheel. But we found a good niche where we have a strong brand name, and if we can do it simply in a sexy way with 3 steps all in one place, so you find it, you book it, and you receive it, and you do it all through our app. You can use Google, you can use many things if you want to, but if it's simple and all there, and that's this direct bookability and content.
It's perfect.
Yeah, sure.
Would that be a step, just in general speaking? I love bootstrapping companies, but would that be a step too big for a bootstrapping company because it's connected to investment, vast investment in technology? Yeah,
I would say yes. I think the idea and the vision was clear for the small company of Jollydays that we've been at that time. We have discussed if Jollydays or if a separate brand would have been, should be used by that time. But I think we were in a position to like decipher the secret behind what needs to be solved, but we were not in a position to do it actually, because that's really where you need money, where you need experience, where you need a lot of technological expertise. I think before I have met Armin, the idea of going to that direction was on the table already, but now we have like decent plans how to really roll this out.
To execute it. And Vid, you will be the one responsible for that as a CEO of both companies.
Sure.
And it's the whole shareholder structure behind the both companies.
Yes, sure.
What are the next big milestones? What are the next big steps?
So we have, I guess, our largest big step comes in February 2022.
Okay.
When you'll probably see a lot more of us.
Okay.
I can't say a lot right now because we're under some NDAs and we're working with some creative agencies to refresh the brand. So as I told you before, Jollydays is a well-known brand, but it is kind of this pretty woman in an old dress, and we're buying dresses right now.
Okay.
And we're also changing our UX and UI and lots of little things in our go-to-market. So in February, Jollydays will come a little bit more present in the minds of the Austrian people.
It will be rejuvenated. It will be just a very good and well-known brand in new cloth. I think that's a nice way to put it.
It's a nice word to put it. It's a beautiful, beautiful man or woman. Who just needs new clothes and obviously some new features, maybe a few children as well to grow new things.
Yeah, whole family.
The whole new family.
Yeah, but we are focusing, we're not foolish. We're not starting everywhere at the same time. Content is hard to attain, and we have to manage the growth very carefully. So we're doing it regionally, region by region, for locals by locals. Nobody in Vienna is going to open up TripAdvisor to check which restaurant to go to. It's just not going to happen because TripAdvisor is a tourist website. Yeah. And we're focusing on the Viennese people, the people from Graz, the people from Klagenfurt, the people from Pingao, I don't know.
Yeah.
These people to
Perfect.
use Jollydays.
In first step, but as you mentioned, Germany and Switzerland are as well your target markets.
Yeah, they're already our markets, but that's the natural next step. We already have a presence in those markets. And then afterwards, it's kind of the, let's say, the community around the DACH region, and then after that, the growth has to become completely international.
Okay.
Because then it becomes, you know, within 6 months of that, somebody else will come to the market. But because we found a good approach of how we integrate content into our website, using some new technologies, we brought some brilliant guys into it. And we're now preparing to scale up at a later stage in time. So setting up every department, using Georg's experience, using Armin's experience, who's grown it, using Marcus's experience from some of the technical pitfalls he fell into, but still grew it to a massive scale. So yeah.
You managed to convince me.
Good.
That's cool.
This would be a good story. I'm excited. Congratulations. This is a very, very big step for you personally, but also for the future of the company that you've brought so far. That's a really, really good setup that somehow happened in these Corona times.
Yeah, actually, I think maybe Corona was finally just adding the last drop to everything. I think we have had a long time of preparing the next growth step, and we were close to finding people coming on board, the investors group from China and from the UK, who were just really on the brink of saying, okay, let's do it, and we were just like preparing everything on the contract side and so on. But when COVID kicked in, it needed someone like Armin with his like vision, with his power, and his ability to keep with the idea, although there are problems around. But that's the major difference between a strategic institutional investor and someone who puts his own money on the table.
A visionary.
And who says, okay, I'm here, I'm ready to do it, let's do it, let's move it. And I think it was, of course, I'm grateful to my lawyer who has introduced the both of us. And,
so thank you, Christoph.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Christoph, if you hear this.
I'm sure he'll remain both of your lawyers.
Yeah,
he is, sure.
As a matter of fact, yeah. So I think we're lucky that we have survived these complicated times, because this has been like what it was. And now I think it's the right time to really just put in the next gear. Move
All
it to
the
the
best
next
for
level.
it. All the best for it. And thank you for coming to our studio to explain this story. Big investment in Jollydays, Jollytech, fantastic new team, setting the company ready for the new big growth spurt, so to say, on the basis of 18 years of bootstrapping. We'll keep you posted on this story. It's super exciting, and I'm looking forward to anything that's yet to come. You've been the February. I'm curious about that. So, Vid, keep us posted about the February.
I absolutely will.
Thank you for being with us. That was everything for today. Jollydays, Jollytech. We'll keep in touch, and stay tuned, and goodbye.